All right, here we go, folks. We are back. We took a short break because Anthony and I were hungry. And guess who finally showed up for the podcast?
Dynamite D. Harris in the building.
He
D.
is
Harris
here.
brand in the house.
He is here, folks. Running on super CP time, but he's here. He's here. White people don't get that joke. It's funny, though. It's all right. Y'all all right. It's all right. It's okay.
3 hours later.
But then if you watch Luke Cage, and you should understand what CP time is, so it's all good. Anyhow, I have no clue where we left off, so we're just going to start talking about stuff. D had some stuff he wanted to talk about. One thing that he wanted to circle back around to that I know Anthony and I covered a bit was Cockroach, one of the gangster characters in the series. Like I said, we talked a little bit about him. We talked about his head on a pike. We really didn't say, much about the character other than the fact that he was a giant asshole. So go ahead, dude.
Well, first of all, I want to say that they did keep true to the character. In the comic book, he had his that 6-barreled shotgun. Mm-hmm. That was awesome that they were able to do that in the show.
Yeah.
That thing looked awesome.
I forgot about that.
Same.
Yeah, because didn't he shoot Luke out of the window with that? I think it was full of Judas bullets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he also, well, like we said, too, in the comics, too, is what people don't realize is Cockroach actually wore a cockroach suit. He looked like a cockroach. He was a cockroach.
Yeah, but he was a son of a bitch.
Yeah, like we talked about the lawsuit. We talked about him suing Luke. We talked about him, like the reason that he was suing Luke was that him beating his girlfriend, wife, whatever she was. But we didn't really delve too much into the character. Cockroach is one of those dudes, like we said for a lot of the villains in the show, that these villains are relatable. Cockroach wasn't relatable. Cockroach was that nigga that was on the show for us to hate him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They wanted us to be like, fuck this guy.
There are no redeeming qualities about that character.
He was a stereotypical
just like
shitty
Mariah.
shitty boyfriend who's just beating his girl.
See, but there were redeeming qualities about Mariah in the beginning. Toward the end of last season and the beginning of this season, and then actually again, we bounced all around for this first hour of the podcast. Going back to it, what we were talking about too with the first season of Luke Cage, and now what we find out about Mariah when she's talking to Tilda about Pete being Tilda's father, that explains why she beat Cornell the way she did in season 1 when he said you liked what Uncle Pete was doing.
Yeah.
Because now we had an inkling of what that meant, but none of us really caught on for sure that she was abused by her uncle this entire time. Like we thought that's what he was talking about, but this cemented it.
She beat the holy hell out of him.
She smashed his face in with a mic stand.
Yeah. After pushing him out the window.
Right. She ain't have to. He was already dead. He was gonna bleed out. She finished him off with the base of that mic stand, and from a guy that used to DJ, let me tell you, that mic stand ain't no joke. Thing is heavy,
chief.
Right.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Right. But getting back into season 2, we covered a little bit of everything. We talked about character development and about sympathetic characters. Like we talked about how you actually kind of sympathize with Shades. You get why Comanche does what he does. You understand why Mariah does what she does. You hate Mariah for it, especially after the reveal of what she says to her daughter. But you get it.
I tried to love you, but I can't.
That's essentially how you feel about the character. I tried to love you, Mariah. Because what she's doing is noble for Harlem, but then you're like, damn, fuck you, God.
It's so many times where I'm just watching that show, like, they gotta kill her. They gotta kill her.
Yeah.
It's like, remember Menace to Society at the end where Kane says, I did too much to go on, but I did way too much to turn back?
Yeah.
She was at that level, and she needed to die.
Yeah.
Like, it's just certain people that just don't need to be alive anymore.
And then, while we're on the subject of sympathetic characters and characters that aren't sympathetic, I can't remember his name, but the Stokes family lawyer, fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah, because then he,
I'm remembering.
Remember he left them and came back?
Yeah.
Now, I'm laughing at the part where she straight up just
grabbed
him by his balls.
Oh, yeah, she did. She did, because that was after he came back.
Yeah.
After he turned, because he left because they didn't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, nope, peace out. Well, he dropped Shades, is what it was. Because we haven't gotten back to what Shades does to really define his character. We haven't gotten back to that yet. We talked about him killing Comanche.
Oh, yeah. Ben Donovan, or Big Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben.
Don't they call you Big Ben?
That's what it was. Did you feel like there was something more between Comanche and Shades than just like a brotherhood, like a deep friendship? Do you think? Because, Mariah was implying it. I didn't feel like it was necessarily...
She made a joke and said that they were prison gay. And I'm just saying...
I didn't really feel like it was actually there.
kind of did towards the end.
They even had a conversation about it in the barbershop.
They almost had a moment.
They were like, jail is jail, and Comanche was like, well, I don't feel like that. I feel like I still feel that way.
Yeah. And Shades was trying to push it like, no, I feel for Mariah, but at the same time, it wasn't extremely convincing. And me, because this is biased for me, I've seen Theo Rossi play another character like Shades.
Yeah, and SOS.
And it's almost very similar to where I'm thinking, no, he could have had feelings for him.
Yeah, but I knew something was up with Comanche because of how he would. At
Acting,
first,
yeah.
I thought at first it was just like, okay, he's fresh out of jail. You know, when in the hood, when niggas get fresh out of jail, they don't know how to act.
Right.
So I thought it was that, and like this is his boy, so he was expecting.
Even then, Comanche was making good, like, he was telling it how it was when he came out.
Yeah,
like,
but
no,
then
this is what you need to do.
It started going from at that point because I was watching my girl India. And we started noticing, like, why is he acting like that? Because it started going from, like, I'm trying to watch out for my boy to him started looking like
it did seem like outright jealousy.
Yeah, he started looking like it. Like, at first it was like, okay, is he jealous of Shades being basically the teacher's pet of Mariah? And then as we saw further, it was more like, whoa, he's acting like a jilted lover right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was there, but I guess it was such an underlying subplot that I didn't pay that much attention to it.
Oh, it was definitely there. It was noticeable.
See, to me, it wasn't like Supergirl, the last season of Supergirl, where they forced the Alex and Maggie stuff.
Yeah,
I
would say I didn't watch this season.
I liked it, but like on the same note, that was like every other episode for the first 6 episodes. They're like, oh look, Alex is in a homosexual relationship, and I was like, that's great, but it's not progressing the plot. Like I hate the love stories of just about everything. Like we've talked about that before, though. Anyway, moving on. We talked about Comanche dying. We talked about Right Now or dying.
Yep.
We talked about the reflection now of Tilda to Mariah and Mariah to Tilda.
We haven't talked about, and I feel like we need to in order to talk about Anansi or Nigel as a character.
Oh yeah, we need.
In order to talk about him as a character, we need to talk about Bush. Like, we go back to Bushmaster's backstory. We said about the fire and everything, but we did not talk about what happened in the market.
Well, there's we gotta kind of cover why the market flashback happens anyway. I can't remember how. Oh, it was after the raid on Rand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Anthony and I kind of talked about this for a bit, but we didn't cover it. They were found out because, like I said, Misty was talking to her chief. I can't remember her name, but
it was her old
previous chief. She was talking to her about making a deal with Mariah, and the person that overheard them was Nandi. And her fine ass. She overheard them talking about it, and she got pissed and she disappears. Well, at this point, like I said, it was $3 million ahead for anybody involved with the Stokes that Bushmaster was offering. So next thing you know, Nandi shows up at Harlem's Paradise after the Stylers have taken over, and demands an audience with Bushmaster. So she gets to talk to him, and she gives up the location. So they show up, they raid, and actually one of the defining moments between Luke and his father is actually in this sequence.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
They show up, and the Stylers are fighting, and they're shooting at each other. It's a big shootout and everything. And at one point, Luke is getting shot, and his dad punches, like, mind you, this is Pastor Lucas, punches this guy in the face repeatedly, and is beating the crap out of him, and he goes, Dad, it's all right, man, the bullets bounce off. And he looks him in the face and says, I don't care. Nobody shoots at my baby. And I was like, yes, that is true. No matter, this is the thing what people don't understand. And Dee and I have talked about this on the show. Anthony and I have talked about this on the show. The reflection of positive black father figures is something we need more often in media.
Yes.
And the fact that we got this, even though they were fighting, even though there was an issue, even though there was trouble in the past, they let all that go and they realized they're still family.
And even on a technicality, back then in the past, he still didn't do what people perceive black men to do, is just leave their child.
Right.
Luke grew up with his father and his mother both.
Right. Right, his mother passed away when he was an adult.
Willis is the.
Willis, on the other hand, Stryker, on the other hand, that's a different story. Yeah. I mean, yes, his father was bad for that, but that's neither here nor there. What we need to focus on is the fact that he was a good man, and he tried to do his best to forgive his son and be forgiven by his son. And for him to look at his son and go, nobody shoots my baby, knowing that the man is bulletproof and it doesn't hurt him, that speaks tons for the character development and that positive progression forward of the black father archetype in television.
And
like,
they definitely had a moment right there.
And that was deep. And like that was one of those things that we were like, damn, man, that was really cool. But at the same point, everybody gets separated, and Luke ends up out front fighting Bushmaster again. But this time, Bushmaster got that ass handed to him. And that's
but much to Luke's chagrin, we find out later on, and this was not recorded, so but nobody believes him.
Right. Everybody keeps talking about the 2 ass whoopings he got, and nobody's talking about the one that he gave.
The second time he didn't really get his ass kicked because he
cheated.
Yeah, he blew some shit in his face.
Yeah, he blew pocket sand.
Pocket sand. Ha-cha!
Getting your ass.
King of the Hildum. But this time Luke won, and they arrested him, and they put Bushmaster in the back of a paddy wagon. And okay, now here's where the Marvel Universe starts to get dicey, and this is what bothers me. Is you'd figured by now in these situations they'd have somebody that handled like superhuman crimes and stuff to come pick him up. Because like we know that the Hulk exists, we know Cap exists, we know this is after the Sokovia Accords and all that. Mm-hmm. How come they just put Bushmaster in the back of a regular ass paddy wagon with handcuffs on? And he had a Hammer Tech small incendiary device in his hand, and he set it off. It didn't kill him, it killed everybody else in the van with him.
It was going to kill him though.
It could have killed him. Now this is where things start getting funny, because Mariah leaves, like Mariah goes straight up like Rambo in this sequence, picks up a shotgun and starts going off, blasting people left and right. Tilda ran away. Luke ran away, Misty ran away. And his dad ran away. That was all that was there. But they took everybody else out. And this is when Bushmaster is essentially in a coma. And not a Nazi. What was his? What was his cousin's name?
The older one that kept trying to get him to stop.
Yeah. No, that was the Nazi. That was the one that kept trying to get him to stop. What was the cousin that?
His actual name was like.
No, the cousin that went and got Tilda to help him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot. I know exactly who you're talking about.
I know you're talking about, and I know he made me mad because when he got Tilda, he's like, "You're gonna heal him or you're gonna die."
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. She would have helped anyways, regardless, more than likely.
Right. Right. It's one of those things. Stuff and things and stuff. He
dead air.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I'm looking for his name too. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's right there. We just can't get it.
He kidnaps Sheldon.
There you go.
Sheldon kidnaps Tilda and brings her to Bushmaster, who's beat up, like he's got gashes across his ribs.
You can see the holes from the shrapnel.
He's got holes from shrapnel in his body. He's got the bullet wounds there and everything. Like it's basically in Logan when Wolverine's healing factor starts to fail him and like all the wounds start opening up. That's basically what's happening to Bushmaster at this point. But now we see inside Bushmaster's head, and we get the flashback to when he was still in Jamaica, this is after his mother passed, and somebody, actually they never say who it was, right? They don't say who this random shooter was that rolled up on him. It wasn't an important character.
No.
But he rolls up on him at the market. He's super excited because he's telling Sheldon he just made money for some fruit and whatever, like a kid would be doing in Jamaica in the marketplace.
I know who that was who shot him.
Who was it?
It was Pete.
Was that Pete?
Yeah, it was Pete.
Yeah.
Pete shot him in the
You know
stomach.
that was Pete.
He shot him in the stomach.
Nope, I just caught on to that.
Because he had to clean up loose ends from the fire.
From Bunky or Bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was for. He said that was for Bumpy. I said Bunky because I'm used to Empire.
Wait, I thought it was for the
He said that when he walked away, he said that was for Bumpy Stokes. Because Bumpy was killed by Bushmaster's the grandfather. They killed each other.
Mm-hmm. Because this is all. This goes back
over Boogie Stokes. That's what.
Because this all goes back to, I think the backstory with that was for the Bushmaster Gin / Harlem's Paradise. They were supposed to be working together, and then Mariah's grandmother, Mama Mabel, just said, F all that, I want it all. I'm taking 100% of everything.
Yeah.
I'm taking the drinks, I'm taking your recipe, I'm going to take the...
Yeah, and as
So she decided to kill everyone.
And as Anthony and I said earlier, she burnt down the house with Bushmaster's mom in it.
Mm-hmm. She got him out and couldn't get through the window, and she collapsed. It was almost like a mud hut. Or
it fell in on itself.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, Mabel was a bitch and threw the paperwork on the fire. But anyway, so Pete shoots Bushmaster as a kid, Johnny as a kid, shoots him in the stomach. And everybody's freaking out because all the people in the marketplace know him or are family and everything. And that's when we see Gwen and Anansi. And Gwen's like, you can't let him die. Johnny can't die. So Anansi picks him up and takes him to his mother, who is a shaman, and heals him. Well, actually, what'd she do? She doesn't heal like she said. She uses Nightshade, which we find out is what gives him his strength, increases his strength.
Yeah.
Because he's already special. The Nightshade just brings it out. She said, Nightshade, no heal, Nightshade reveal, is what she said to Anansi. And then you see Tilda working on him in present time, and then you see Anansi's mother working on him in the past. And it's like pretty much, I love that parallel that they did with the back and forth, where like everything that's happening to him in the past is happening to him now too. Like, it was really cool. And then you see the wound start to heal.
And the shrapnel pushes out.
Now, while that is happening, this is, like we said, that the defining moment for Black Mariah was Tilda's the conversation she had with Tilda. That was just the tip of the iceberg. The rest of the iceberg, the piece of ice that sunk the fucking Titanic, was definitely what she does next.
So remember how Brownstone got burned down with her in it?
What we should probably mention is Gwen, Anansi's wife. Anansi being Bushmaster's uncle, who's the one that this entire season is trying to talk Bushmaster into doing things peacefully.
I think it's funny that he's called Anansi.
I thought, with what happens, I thought that he actually was Anansi. Like the African god Anansi, with what happens, which we'll get to in a second. But anyway, Gwen...
No, that's Orlando Jones.
Gwen runs a Jamaican family restaurant in Little Jamaica. And that's Anansi's wife and Bushmaster's auntie. And Shades has been scouting this place. What you're led to believe is he's been scouting it just trying to get intel.
Yeah.
Or just trying to, find a person he can grab. And that's what he's led to believe, too.
Yeah.
But after everything pops off at the Rand building and everything that happens with Mariah turning to Black Mariah, they roll down there. They kidnapped Anansi.
Bro.
They also had... Wait, we had...
I noticed where this is going.
We talked about Sugar already.
We talked about Sugar, but we also didn't go back to what happens before... Shit, we gotta talk about Danny. We can't talk about the rum punch before we talk about Danny, because that happened before that. All right, so Luke is down on himself still about everything happening. He's Claire's gone, and Danny shows up.
He got his ass kicked not once but twice.
Danny shows up to help Luke talk himself out of his head and help him find focus and everything. And at the same time, we start to find out that there's the drug hit the streets.
DW also about to be selling some Iron Fist shirts soon.
Yeah. So Danny shows up and he's talking to Luke and everything, and then they go to bust up a growing operation. And as we said at the beginning of this podcast, this is the Danny Rand Iron Fist that we've wanted for 2 different shows now. This is not the whiny, but I'm the Iron Fist from Kunlun. This is not the Defenders Iron Fist.
This is also where they switch up the soundtrack and stop playing reggae music and start playing Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
And we get the fight scene. We get a team up that was Marvel Ultimate Alliance style with Danny and Luke busting up a grow house for Nightshade. And that shit was amazing.
I like to think of it as a parallel to Colleen and Misty taking out that bar.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, very much so. They did a wonderful job shooting it, and then Finn Jones can finally fight. I was so happy. Because what people don't realize that don't read the comics is Iron Fist does not always have to use the Iron Fist to be a great fighter and win his fights. Iron Fist is supposed to be the premier martial artist of the world. He's supposed to be the best fighter on the planet. And we haven't gotten that out of Danny at all. And a lot of people are like, oh, in season 1 he's growing, and that it was just, I don't care. If you're the Iron Fist, you're supposed to be the best fighter ever. Colleen Wing shouldn't have been the best fighter in Iron Fist. Colleen Wing shouldn't have been the second best fighter in Defenders. Because the first best fighter in Defenders was Daredevil, hands down.
With his scarf
especially
around his face.
with Danny being missing that whole time and was supposed to be training that entire time. There's no excuse for
even
for that.
Well, even then, the third best fighter I don't even think was Danny in Defenders or Iron Fist. I mean, it had to have been Budo.
Oh yeah,
Bakudo.
Yeah, Bakudo. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bakudo was badass. And to think he was freaking Leo in Transformers 2.
Oh my god.
It's terrible.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad I never saw that character again.
Right. I was really happy that he came back in this and was awesome in Defenders. He was badass. Actually, the third best fighter in Defenders was Madame Gao, followed by Bakudo.
You know, she uses like
exactly. She didn't have to do nothing. It's like,
oh no,
you're talking Star Wars.
There's a Japanese
is the Empire a better fighter than is the Emperor a better fighter than Darth Vader? Yeah, because he ain't got to touch you.
What was he like? He went hunting for that rare Japanese bear that's supposed to kill people.
Oh yeah, that guy.
That dude he's a monster too.
Yeah, he got murked pretty fast though.
True. But I'm just saying, he's still not. I feel like.
But anyway, all these people are leaps and bounds ahead of Danny by the time we get to Defenders. This Danny would have beat the ass of all of them.
Yep.
And this goes back to that conversation you and I had yesterday when they were developing Defenders, I don't necessarily think that the actor not Defenders, but Iron Fist, I don't think the actor that they got to play Danny, I'm not exactly sure he was their first choice. And maybe whoever else they had in mind was, a little bit more adept to performing martial arts, especially martial arts on film. But he wound up with the role, and that's where. I mean,
he was he was a Game of Thrones actor, so he wasn't really from a martial arts world. So
you're right. So it's.
I mean, I give the kid credit, but on the same note, it's poor direction on their part.
Yeah, but now that I think they're just playing catch up a little bit, and here we are.
I'm super excited for season 2 of Iron Fist now, though. But can we talk about Patty Cake? Because that move was the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
When
Patty Cake.
Luke looks at him and says, and Luke looks at Danny and goes, Patty Cake. And then he goes, what? He's like, I'm ready for it this time. Because they did it in Defenders, but Luke wasn't ready. And he braced himself, and Danny fully powered up and hit Luke in the hands, and he created a blast wave with, like, I'd say probably like a 20-meter radius around them, and it took everybody out. And that was the coolest shit. I was laying on the floor watching it, and I sat straight up, and I was like, oh, man! Because they did a good job, and that spiked really loud. I'm sorry, folks. That's going to be loud in your ears for that part.
Yeah. And plus, a truck just went by.
Yeah. God. So we circle back around. That's the post-fight, and Danny and Luke end up talking at Genghis Khan's new restaurant.
Yeah.
Newly rebuilt restaurant.
Do you need a new apartment to stay in?
Yeah, Connie offered Luke a new apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty sure she was offering like free rent too.
Yeah, she was.
And he's like, I don't need this one to blow up also.
And she's like, it's alright, we have insurance. And I was like, go Connie. Go. She learned from the last mistake. She's like, nope, I ain't messing with these supers. But
and plus Danny has money. Her man has money. So.
Oh yeah.
And he has so much money he doesn't know what to do with it. He's like, I'm not even in the building. I don't care.
Yeah, Danny could put up Luke and everybody if he wanted to. Which I think we're gonna
offered to do a lot of stuff for people for money, and then they're like, no, we don't want it. Yeah. He's like, you sure?
That'll change.
Because they easily could have been like, when the whole barbershop not having all the money and them needing to relocate, Danny could have been like, I got like $500K if you want it right now.
I've got $9 bajillion. Do you need money?
You need $1 million? I got you.
Right.
You need 10? Got you.
So we got that fight scene.
You might need to do me a favor.
We got that fight scene in episode 10, and then we get at one point Luke and Danny go to see Mariah, and what they don't know is Mariah has Anansi tied up in her office in the perch, and that was fucking badass. Like, what to me again, man, this is why I love this series, man. The characters, because Anansi basically looked at Mariah and Shades was like, I ain't no bitch. Because Mariah was like, you could have screamed at any point. He would have been up here and busted us all up. And he was like, yeah, but why do that? He's like, I have nothing to fear from you. And I was like, that's showing that character. He's like, you might kill me. I'm still not going to give up my nephew no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's the way, these familial bonds is what drive this story. Like the bond between Luke and his father, the bond between Luke and Willis Stryker from season 1. The bond between Luke and Claire, the bond between Luke and Danny, the bond between Bobby and Danny, and Luke rather, the bond between DW and Danny, and not Danny, and Luke, damn it. The bond between...
DW a good home for the most part. He is a solid homie.
DW is on a hustle all the time, but I respect what he does.
But I'm just saying, he's a solid homie, but the minute you get laid out, he gonna let you know.
He's pretty much a Smokey, you got knocked the fuck out type of dude.
Yeah.
But on that same note, if you that bad, like to where you're hurt or like something, if something terrible had happened to Luke, he would make sure Luke was alright. Until the end, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But, what I think was the biggest standout for me too for this episode after that was in Mariah gathers up the whole crew and Shades, and they're walking Anansi back to Gwen's.
Oh boy.
And now Sugar goes, I ain't down for this shit. And he's like, man, I got a family. I ain't signed up to be a part of this. And then another dude who was a random thug was like, well, she's gonna know if you're missing. He's gonna say, what's she gonna do? Come after me? He was like, she knows better, which essentially Mariah does know better, which you do find out Mariah wasn't going to mess with Sugar or his family. But he leaves, and
all because of good faith with the clothes.
That's essentially it. All because of a good familial gesture. Again, familial bonds. Because he helped her out in her time of need, so she ain't gonna mess with him, no matter what. Now that said, he didn't roll over on her either.
Yep.
He could have easily been like, hey man, he could have called Luke right then when he walked away. Like, look, man, something's about to pop off. You need to get down here. And he didn't. But they go to Gwen's. And what we didn't talk about was this character. Mariah kept calling her Billy. Her real name was Stephanie, I think.
Yeah.
And that's how they set up the head of Atreus Plastics, my good friend on Instagram. That's how they set him up. Was they... had her hit on him, and they ended up hooking up, and they
Mariah pimped her out.
Yeah, but what she didn't know was
she was a double agent.
She was a double agent for the Jamaicans.
But even then, was she friends with Tilda?
No,
Okay.
They know
I
each
had to
other.
make sure.
No, they didn't know each other. But so they show up, and Mariah sees her first.
Also a very attractive woman.
Oh, fine as hell. 5'5" with brown eyes. Smile like the sunrise.
You sing the whole song?
Yes, I am. Copyright infringement. But she shows up, and she sees her first. After one of her thugs walks in and shoots in the sky to calm everybody down, which is the opposite of calming everybody down. I don't understand why bad guys do that. Calm the fuck down, bang, and everybody's like, ah! Why you shoot? Waving a gun around ain't gonna get me calmed down. But anyway, they got Anansi. He's tied up. They throw him on the ground. They end up shooting Billy in the face.
Real quick.
And then one of the cooks from behind the counter goes to run away, and Shade shoots him. And then they pan out, and in a scene of some of the best cinematography on Netflix I've seen forever. You see one of those classic gangster movie, the gun flashes.
Yeah.
Just through the windows.
This was a sad scene.
And you know what's going on. That scene, it was well done.
Even then, there was shadows of people moving and
screaming and
getting dropped.
You know what's going on, but it would, like Dee said, that hurt. And we have no emotional connection to most of these characters, but it's just these people are innocent people.
They were literally just family.
Just family sitting there eating.
I get why she would have killed the girl.
I get why she went after Billy, but killing everybody else in that place was completely unneeded.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So she shoots Anansi's wife, Gwen. Anansi's flipping out, but then at this point, he starts essentially cursing her. And he said, you can sleep, but you'll never rest. You can eat, but you'll never taste. Nothing in your life is going to go right. And he just keeps repeating it over and over again. And she goes, will you just shut up and die? And then they pour Bushmaster out on him and on the ground, and she lights it.
She lit it on fire.
And this is what made me think he was really Anansi. And this was, again, good directing and good shooting and good writing. he screamed for a good 3. They gave us like 2 or 3 minutes of him just screaming at her, not dying, not falling over, just sitting. And I was like, they're really gonna have him be a Nazi. That's how they're gonna explain Bushmaster's powers aside from the Nightshade, is he's related to gods. That's not what happened.
No, she shot him in the face.
Mariah pulls out the revolver, which I talked about earlier a bit,
Yep.
but it's the revolver from the last season that Shades used to kill Candace.
But
Yep.
Pistol Pete also used it
And it was
to...
Pistol Pete's gun that was used to shoot Johnny.
Yeah, he shot him.
Yeah. But also I think he used it to kill his Johnny's father.
Yeah. Cornell Cottonmouth used that to kill Pistol Pete.
Yeah, he
No,
did.
Cottonmouth. Oh, yeah, because
It's the same gun.
Mariah talked him into
It's,
it.
it's the same gun.
Yeah. It's the same gun. So she shoots him. And this is when you see the look on Shade's face to where he's like, fuck. What did we get ourselves into? This has gone entirely too far. And for this man that has shown no remorse about anything, we watched him shoot Candace in the back of the head out of cold blood in season 1, and we were like, this is a cold, calculated motherfucker. And now for him to actually be like, shit, what did we just do?
We watched him beat Luke in prison, wanting to shank him too.
Oh yeah,
All for just some money. That's just it. Not
That
even
was
like
him,
a lot
that
of
was
money.
him and Comanche doing
it was
that.
him, Comanche, and Tone.
Yeah,
It was all 3 of them.
Yeah, well, Tone got thrown off of a roof, so fuck that guy.
Well, I mean, it's funny because Shades watched all his boys die.
Yes, he did. All of them. But it's just, man, it's really to the character and the actor's credit that you're like, you kind of feel bad for Shades at that point, because you're like, all this time he's done things by the code of the streets, but he's followed that code. And now Mariah has never had to adhere to that code because she was mostly legit, other than the shit she did as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went to the senator and stuff and just kept the family business running without her name attached to it. Cornell did everything, and she just funded it. But now she's involved, but she doesn't know the way the
Even
rules work.
Cornell kept the codes.
Cornell, oh
Just
yeah.
Tone.
Which is
didn't.
why Tone got thrown the fuck off the roof, because Tone attacked Switzerland,
Yeah.
which was Pop's barbershop.
Which we need to come back to.
We need to come back to the barbershop. So this all happens, and you start to see a change in Shades, because now it's all weighing on him. And Mariah thinks she's like now queen shit and nothing can touch her. Not realizing that, you just messed over Bushmaster, who, again, like we said, this ran parallel to the healing stuff. Bushmaster wakes up, and him and Sheldon and Tilda are talking. Tilda's going to survive because she helped Bushmaster. Bushmaster's the type of dude that if you actually help him, he's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
He's going to repay the debt. Well, then Sheldon goes to call everybody
He
and let
didn't
them
even
know.
want to necessarily hurt Luke Cage.
Oh, no.
He tried to get him
No,
to join him like
this
multiple times.
This wasn't about Luke. None of this was about Luke. Luke just happened to be somebody he needed to step over to get what he wanted. And he beat Luke's ass the first time just to basically say, stay out of my way, man. That wasn't a power play that wasn't like a position play for Bushmaster. That was a show of strength to show him, hey, I'm just as bad as you are. I need to do this. This is my thing. Let me do this. And Luke just kept getting in the way because that's who Luke is. That's what Luke does. Luke was like, too many people in my town are going to die because of you being a damn fool. But God, man, like I said, the evolution of these characters, because now Mariah has fully gone 180 degrees in the other direction. Mariah Dillard is no more at this point. This is Mariah Stokes, as she says during what they called the Rum Punch Massacre.
Yeah.
God, I can't. I have a hard time moving past this part because this part was probably the second most emotional thing.
That was I haven't said too much about it because it was a really, really sad scene.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was a Nazi's wife. I think we're gonna get to that a little later, but
Yeah.
she survived.
Yeah, she doesn't die, and you don't know that till later until there was a leak from the PD, and then there was rumors of a survivor, and because there was a blood trail.
Yeah.
When Misty and everybody are there, there's a blood trail, and then they find out the blood trail is Gwen's, and Luke tracks her down to help her, because he wants her to go to the police so they can end this all and figure out what's going on, but she just wants to go see her husband and she wants to leave.
And Shades is trying to...
And then, Luke finds her at basically a free clinic. Well, he shakes down everybody because they find her first. The Mariah's people find her first. And Luke goes and beats the hell out of them. And then he says, I'm going to help you, and she thinks that he's there to hurt her because of Bushmaster and all that, and he's not. And they get separated, and it's Shade's. And this is Shade's complete heel turn. This is Shade's complete 180. At this point, I think this is where his character was like, fuck this. He's got the gun in Gwen's face. Easily could have ended it. That's their witness. Game over. Now they've got nothing on Mariah. They've got nothing on Shades. They can't prove anything. But he couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to do it because when it comes down to it, the woman did nothing to them. She did nothing wrong. Anansi talked a lot of shit, but she did nothing wrong, and Shades couldn't do it. Then Luke finds her after Shades leaves, and he agrees to help her get to her husband and not. And then we see Luke. Well, they go to Anansi's body, and Bushmaster shows up, and Luke and Bushmaster talk, and they are alright.
At first, they're about to fight. And
Yeah,
she's like,
and then Gwen's like, knock it the fuck off, essentially. God, man, this was just such. Like, I know I keep saying this, but it was just such deep storytelling because I felt really bad for Gwen for watching her entire family die and her husband in front of her.
Yeah, that was really like the most fucked up thing I've seen on that. I saw on that show the entire season.
Yeah, easily.
And like just after watching, I was like, man, Mariah has to die.
Yeah.
She has to go.
This woman
She was a menace.
She's probably the worst villain in all of it. She was. I'd even venture to say she was a worse villain than Sigourney Weaver's character was in The Defenders. Because at least in The Defenders, we knew what she was after. She was after immortality. She wanted to get back into Cumberland and get immortality. That's what she wanted. No, they wanted to die.
yeah.
They wanted to be able to die because they were immortal, and they wanted to be able to die. But like that was her goal. That was it. Mariah's just evil for the fucking sake of being evil at this point. Like these people may have wronged you, but that doesn't mean.
But she keeps trying to justify us, my family, and this. Like, no, this is all you at this point.
Yeah.
You could have made a different choice. You didn't have to go down this path, and now you just harming innocent people because you have this agenda against someone who you're actually afraid of,
Right.
because of some shit you did.
Right. So what we're also not talking about is after all this shit pops off, and after Gwen, Luke, and Bushmaster talk, Mariah decides to throw a party. Throw a big party at Harlem's Paradise because they take back over because their funds were her funds were transferred to
Under duress. To Bushmaster.
To Bushmaster under duress by Piranha, which I mean this can be completely proven because his head was in a fish tank afterwards. So
and Piranha deserved better, man. He turned out to be a decent dude. He deserved a little better.
Yeah, we said that he didn't deserve to die.
And he was actually the one to talk Luke into talking to his dad.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you need to.
Well, he also turned him into a hero for hire.
Yeah, he's the one that started the hero for hire trend with Luke.
Yeah, he was a super fan.
Hey, Marvel Netflix, if you listen to this, that's what we want next. If y'all don't know, that's what everybody that watched Luke Cage season 2 and Iron Fist and Defense. We all want heroes for hire. Please, I'm begging. Please give us heroes for hire.
Depends on how we're gonna work out of season 2.
Yeah, that's true. Fix it to where we get heroes for hire.
I'm mad, but like I'm not mad at the same time.
We get it. We'll get there.
That was a good ending. It just made me angry.
So there's that, and then we get some stuff and some things. What else happened? Oh, so now Mariah throws this party.
Tilda talked to Bushmaster.
Tilda talks to her mom first.
Yeah.
And basically her mom is like, this is the way things are going to be. This is how they are in the story. Whatever. And then Mariah also...
Which was a complete lie remember when she first went and got Tilda, she told her something different.
Oh, yeah.
So that was she just found out everything was going to be a lie.
Oh, yeah, she flipped it on his head. She's been lying to her. Like we said, in reference to episode 9, she's been lying to her daughter this entire time. So Tilda and Bushmaster talk. And Tilda's going to help Bushmaster get in to the club.
Where her safe room is.
Where the safe room is, because somebody needs to take out her mom. This is her thought process on this. And she doesn't want to be involved in it, but somebody needs to take out her mother. So they throw this party, and KRS-One is performing. And that was a dope performance. I like KRS, but I know like a lot of people in the hip hop community realize that he spreads a lot of false information about the history of hip hop. But it was still pretty slick to see him performing. And Luke was there, Misty was there. Oh, we didn't talk about the pivotal thing that's happening before Bushmaster storms the club. Is the reason Misty is there and the rest of the PD, like undercover, is because somebody shows up at their doorstep, practically gift wrapped.
Oh yeah, Shades shows up. He's like, I'm gonna give myself up.
Yeah, he turns himself in because, like I said, he made that heel turn after almost killing Gwen.
Because he's like, I'm about to tell y'all everything. I just want people he did. So it was me, Joaquin, Mariah. We all went to this club, right? And then, guess what she did though? I only shot one person.
Right.
I only shot, but y'all can't use it against me. But I'm gonna tell you, I only shot one person. Mariah, she grabbed homeboy and she set him on fire. Right. And then Joaquin and them, they shot everybody else. But I only shot one person. But y'all said y'all weren't gonna use that against me. But I only shot one person, even though I'm connected to like 10 other crimes.
If y'all hear Cinnamon Twist, I apologize. I'm stealing some of David's.
I don't apologize if you hear him. You're lucky I'm not eating my burrito. But God, I gotta clear my throat. So anyway, Shades lays out everything on the table. He talks about absolutely everything that happened in both seasons.
Like when you talk about snitching, this dude snitched, bro.
He told him Mariah's birthday. He
told everything.
He told him her mama's shoe size. He told everything.
He wasn't afraid of her either. He's like, you can't do nothing to me.
Oh yeah. So
Shades is her muscle.
Yeah. So their play. So the Harlem PD's play was to wire up Shades because they needed them in on the inside, and they did, which I personally thought it was stupid as shit to wire Shades. I really thought that was a weak move. I feel like Misty could have done better. Like they could have known that wasn't gonna work in the long run. Especially Shades wasn't nervous or anything, but just the way it played out, it was too obvious that he was wired.
Yeah, Mariah knew.
But he shows up.
All of this was so they could get the gun, though.
Yeah, all this.
They just wanted the gun.
The pearl handled 38, just to pin everything on Mariah, to like all of it. Damn, man, So Luke shows up and is talking to Misty, and basically tells her the wire's a weak play, and then she goes, "You got a better idea?" And he said, "I'm working on one." Now at this point. Again, KRS is on the stage. Mariah and Shades are upstairs talking. They go to the safe room, the lair, as she called it. The lair, which is her safe room that they built. And she opens Shades' shirt and realizes he's wired, and they start arguing and da-da-da-da-da. And at this point, Tilda has let Bushmaster in the back, but she also gave him a secret weapon. Mm-hmm. She gave him a double dose of pure concentrated nightshade.
Yeah.
To up his power, but it will also break his body in the process.
Yeah, I think because it was a synthetic form of nightshade. It was like the real. It's basically. I think she had to do some stuff to it to really get it to work like the real thing because I think she said the soil she was trying to grow it in wasn't the same.
Oh yeah, because you gotta grow it in Jamaica.
The best way to explain this is if you understand marijuana, you understand that it just grows naturally. Now, if you lace it with something, it's bad. It'll destroy you real bad.
Yeah.
It just grow like that.
Yeah. Hungry, happy, sleepy. That's what nightshade does to you too. Not that I would know firsthand. So anyway, he takes a shot and basically goes Broly. Yeah, that's essentially what he's doing. Mariah Stokes. Mariah Stokes. And he comes in through like this basement hatch, and he walks past a couple of the people. Like they let him through because they like I'm not fucking with him. And then he knocks out a few of them. But then he goes through the crowd and he's taking out security and everything. And he's trying to work his way up. KRS sees it, runs off the stage. It's like I'm not. Nope. And leaves. And he works his way up. And Luke sees what's going on and he runs up and so does Misty. And they get up to the panic room, and they're all like it's all a three-way fight between Misty, Luke, and Bushmaster. And that was actually probably the best actual fight between Bushmaster and Luke. Was the best fight sequence was between that, like in the panic room in that little hallway near the door, them like bouncing off the walls and fighting each other. That was pretty slick.
them throwing each other into the doors to break it.
Yeah, and then like Shades tried shooting him for some reason, like it was gonna work, and he just missed because his speed was increased. He didn't even let the bullet hit him this time. He just ducked. Okay, Mariah's freaking out. You know, Misty's there, Luke is there, Shades is there. The gun is there.
Imagine they still could have shot him if he would have shot him in the eye.
That's what he was aiming for.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's what Shades' play was, which would have worked if he wasn't on a double shot of Nightshade.
Yeah.
But he was able to like basically dip out of the way real quick.
And at that point, you're actually rooting for Bushmaster. You're like, oh, he better not die.
Yeah. You don't want at this point. You want Bushmaster to beat the shit out of Mariah. You really do. He don't get the chance because Luke gets up there and beats him up.
Yeah, he's in rough shape after this too.
Yeah, both of them were. And Luke got to the point to where he went straight up brutal. Had him at a headlock and was going to snap his neck, and Mariah kept telling him to, and Misty is the one that talked him down.
Yeah, because he's like, don't do this, don't do it for Mariah.
This isn't you, don't do it for Mariah. And then that fight's over, and Shades hands Misty the gun, and Misty arrests Mariah. Mariah goes, and we're coming up on the climax now, because Mariah spends the last of this season in jail. And in prison.
For her hearing.
Getting ready for her hearing. And Ben's reinstated as lawyer. And this is where we start to learn a lot more. Like Shades is in the wind at this point, kind of, sort of.
Not to mention, also when she was in there, they were about to try and so you in here now.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I want to talk about. We were talking about that 3-form evolution of a major character. What people don't realize that are listening to this is that 3-form evolution is Luke Cage. We went from hero to Rook. Rook is around the time that he was choking out Bushmaster, I feel like. This is coming up on that evolution to Harlem's King. Because this is the point now that we see Luke trying to figure out what to do. Because now without Mariah in power,
all the other gangs
are going crazy. And they're vying for power and like they're killing each other.
Created a power vacuum. That's what happens in real life too. When gangs are fighting for power.
Oh yeah, that's why there's a lot of civilian casualties and stuff. That's why kids get caught in the crossfire and stuff every day. They reflected this really well. But unfortunately in real life we don't have a bulletproof hero to take the shots for us.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah.
Well, y'all looking at me like I'm gonna be a bulletproof hero. He look right at me.
He's trying to be Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
Well, he's gonna be Luke Cage. I guess I'm gonna be Iron Fist. Y'all can call me Black Fist, Black Power Fist.
Get the electric gauntlet like in Boondocks.
Yeah, y'all can call me Stun Glove.
We need 3 or 4 more people, and we can set up a Power Ranger squad.
We got 3.
That'll work.
We have red, black, and white.
So you need 3 more.
Technically, it depends on what season you're talking about.
Yeah,
could be up to 10. But I digress. We've moved on completely. We're talking about Power Rangers.
We always do that.
That's why this podcast
Tangent.
is an hour and 56 minutes long right now.
Remember when we said we wouldn't hit 2 hours long?
Oh, yeah. We're going to hit over 2.
Yeah, we're talking about a whole season of a series here, folks.
But anyway, so what happens next is we start to see Luke, Sugar, and DW are essentially trying to figure out what the hell to do next. And this is where we find out Sugar's backstory. Because Luke's up on the perch where him and Danny talked. And Sugar's talking to him, and he's like, "How'd you end up working for Mariah anyhow?" And he tells him he was like an all-pro college football player, and he blew out his knee. No, high school player.
Yes.
And he blew out his knee, and then Mariah called him and offered to pay for his scholarship anyway, his tuition anyway. And it wasn't like at the time that was Mariah, when Mariah was just doing things to help black people, and she did. And then he went to college, and when he got out of college, like, he had a job with Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth gave him a gig as basically a bouncer, and made sure he had food on his table and clothes on his kids' backs, and that's what he cared about. And I can't hate on Sugar about that at all. And now essentially he's doing the same thing. But you're starting to see a progression in a character, and that progression you're seeing is in Luke Cage. Luke is looking for ways to help Harlem. So him and Sugar and DW are talking. And they essentially, Sugar and Luke essentially come up with the fact that Luke needs to go and talk to the other gang members. And then in walks Shades and tells him, hey, there's this power vacuum, and there's 2 people up for the power, but there needs to be a 3rd. He's like, I don't like you, Carl. I never have and I never will. But maybe you need to do this.
until I come back and I'm gonna take over.
Basically was what he was saying. So Luke goes and he starts visiting all the crime families. He hems up the Chinese, or the Koreans rather, and then he goes and see. This is the scene we were talking about earlier with the coffee.
Did he beat somebody up at the Korean spot? I think he fucked one of them up pretty bad.
No, that was the dude at the Italians.
Okay, yeah.
That was her main squeeze dude.
Yeah.
He beat the holy hell out of him.
Yes, he did. Yeah. That was great. Well, he walks up to. He goes to the Italian place. Because this is after Mariah tried to make a play to unite all the gangsters and get drugs. Actually, you know what? The gang members were killing themselves mostly. Like, they didn't most of the work for him. So he goes to the Italians, and he talks to... Well, of course, they all attack him, which, again, Superman syndrome. Like, you just do it to do it. Like, it's Luke Cage. You know the story's mad now. Why are you attacking this guy? Luke takes them all out.
Got some more Judas bugs.
Right, which do nothing anymore. But, so like Anthony said, like I can't remember the girl's name, but the head of the Italian mob family is sitting there with this guy, and she basically says, "Go get him," and he goes to get him, and Luke beats his ass, and puts his hand on the table while grabbing his arm and breaks each finger individually, basically saying like very mob boss style. And at this point, we're all like, "What are you doing, Luke? What's going on?" And he tells her, "This is what I can allow you to do. This is what I can't allow you to do." And she's like, "What makes you think I'm going to do that?" And he's like, "Because I'll be back if you don't." And they end up talking, and like she agrees. And then she offers, she's like, "Next time, make an appointment. We can go down to such and such, some cafe." And he's like, "I've never really liked espresso." And she stands with her hand on the hip and goes, "You just haven't had a proper cup." And I was like, everybody makes the coffee references to this man.
Yeah, but no, she wanted him.
Oh, she did. She did. And I would be hard-pressed to tell her no. But at this point, we're now seeing this play for Luke. And it's like, man, this don't make no damn... What is Luke doing? And, so, you start to see the framework of all these characters that we've known throughout this series start to die down. Like, Bushmaster is pretty much done at this point.
Yeah, I think at that point he had gone back to Jamaica after that last
He was
fight.
on his way, because him and Luke fought together. Fought together before the club incident. After he caught that ass whooping, he was leaving.
And he got broken out by Tilda and Sheldon.
Yeah. And they were taking him and then Anansi's body and Gwen were all going back home. So they're done. Luke is handling business with all the other gang members. And Mariah. Now we're going to get back to Mariah being in prison. And Anthony, you want to talk about that?
I want to talk. Oh, yeah, no. So straight up, she gets in prison. First things first. The people in there are like, "Oh, so you think they're like, you think you queen bitch? Not in here." They immediately go to try and solve some past issues to kill her.
Yeah.
She straight up flips that around, stabs the first bitch, tells the other two, "Now you two work for me." And she was getting like money to wire.
Yeah, she's gonna get Big Ben to give him money.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Clean up this body."
She fucks this lady up. It was Sunflower. It was one of these girls.
Yeah.
Sunflower had these two girls throw kerosene on her, and she was mad. And then like they worked something out. And then she was like, "You know what? If we're gonna do this, I'll work for you, but let me hold something." And she gives her the shank that one of the girls had on them, and she slits Sunflower's throat. And like this is after these two killed a guard, and like she slits this chick's throat, and like you're like, Mariah is a completely different character than we've seen this entire. Like after
no, she already knew she was gonna be in there the whole time.
Yeah,
she was just gonna make it comfortable for herself.
She knew she wasn't getting out.
Yeah,
she knew there was no way, with everything that happened, that she was getting out.
Yeah. And they did such a good job defining her character at this point. Well, then she steals the CO's...
She was about to be a kingpin.
Oh, yeah.
She was about to be in prison and still run everything.
Yep. Mm-hmm. She steals the CO's cell phone. She calls Ben, has them bring money. And then she ends up talking to Ben and saying, "You know what, anybody that's not family needs to be taken out." So,
except Sugar.
Except for Sugar, and that was because of the gesture with the clothing. But they go on a rampage, and like she has other people killing all the people that are connected, even this young kid Alex.
Yeah, he worked for her. That was her right.
He was like her right-hand man after Shades left.
He was about to get caught sleeping with her at one point.
Yeah. Shades was about to murk him before that.
Yeah.
Oh, and straight up, they tried to put someone on Shades.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't even know why you even attempted that.
Yeah, they tried to get. Well, they took out everybody. They tried to take out Shades, and it just wasn't happening. And Shades was like, I need to talk to her. He's like, put me on the list. Put me under somebody else's name. I'm coming to see her. And they went to see her. He went to see her, and they talked. And he said, you think you the king shit now, huh? You think you big shit, but that's not the way this is gonna work. He's like, I got some advice for you. Keep your head on a swivel. You're a gangster now. And that was the end of that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luke said he needed to talk to her because he wanted to put an end to everything. But Tilda got on the list first. What you're not seeing, what you might not notice, and this is...
Well, not at some point,
There was
Luke didn't get on the list. He didn't get to go in. He talked to her on the phone. I thought.
No, he went to see her.
No, he went to
Did he?
see her.
Remember?
Okay.
After Tilda goes
Yeah,
to
we'll-
see
we'll
her,
get to-
Luke goes to see her. We'll get there.
So
Okay.
Tilda, and right before what we were about to talk about, there's a scene of her grinding something up.
Yep.
Oh, you could already tell
mash it
immediately.
very, very red in color.
Misty comes to talk to her.
But when she goes to see her, her lips are the same
Our
color
blood red, yep.
as what she was grinding up.
And they talk, and they actually have a decent heart-to-heart, and Tilda basically gets everything on the table. And then she says, I love you, mother, and she kisses her on the lips. And then Tilda leaves, and Ben comes in. And she goes, she called me mother, not mommy. Huh. And she's like, the wheels are turning. And they start talking, and she's like, I need to do something. So she sits down, and we don't know what it is that she's doing. We assume to know, but you don't know what it is that she's doing. And this is around the time that Luke decides that he needs to talk to Mariah, so he calls and gets it set up. Well, it was when Alex was killed that he decided he needed to talk to Mariah.
He lost his shit when that happened.
Yeah.
And they was like, yo, he was like, somebody said it was like, yo, I thought she liked that kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sugar did.
Yeah.
So they go. And actually before that, was it before that Luke, Sugar, and DW all had the conversation about what Luke's role needs to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And DW wanted him to still be the hero.
Yeah, DW wants Luke to be the Luke that we all know and love. Luke, Shades, and Sugar are basically saying Luke needs to be that power player. He needs to be in place of Mariah and the others. And that's when he started talking to the gangs and everything. But
look, I understood where they were coming from. And I understood how DW's like, no, you're going to change. You're going to be just like them. You need to stay hero.
Yeah.
But at the same time I got it, I was like, well, if he doesn't do this, a lot of innocent people about to keep getting killed.
right, well, I understood the logic of it, but I don't understand the execution. But anyway, I understand what DW does next. DW goes, nah, the barbershop is Switzerland, and if you're gonna do this, I need to tell you what's about to go down. I'm about to take all the money I have from the merchandise that I sold, and I'm buying out the barbershop. And he's like, you can come in and get your hair cut.
You can come in and chat.
You can't come in and talk shop.
Yeah.
And Luke and Sugar were like, understood. And that's when Shades comes to get him. Or no, Ben comes to get him and says Mariah wants to talk. Mariah wanted to talk to Luke. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was real
Weird.
strange.
And then he goes, and Luke's talking to Mariah, and she's basically laying it all on the table about their relationship and everything. And then you start to see something funny happening. Mariah starts coughing. Mariah starts coughing out blood. And starts shaking and shivering. And then the wheels start turning. And all of us are like, oh shit, what just happened? And then Tilda, they flash to Tilda, and she's cleaning her lipstick off her face, and she says, Beso de Araña, which translates out to kiss of the spider. And I was like, oh shit, she killed her mom. And this is the way we all wanted this. We didn't want Tilda to be the one to do it, but all of us knew who Nightshade was. So we were wondering when this turn was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen with her mom's. I thought she was going to poison Bushmaster personally. Until the last couple of episodes.
Tilda was going to kill Bushmaster?
I thought she was going to poison him, yeah. Until the end. I thought that super shot of Nightshade was going to be poison.
Honestly, that entire series, I was like, if Bushmaster dies, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah. But, so anyway, Luke could have helped Mariah. He doesn't. He lets her die in his arms.
Yep.
And truth be told, I don't think there's a dude sitting at this table having this conversation with y'all right now that would say, did we do any different?
I don't think I would have held her. I probably would have.
I was screaming good at the TV. That bitch needed to die.
Right. right? I mean, again, and she died in the most satisfying way too, because she kept talking about it burning. She was burning from the inside out. The poison was working through her body, and it was just—that's what she deserved. I didn't think they were going to kill off Mariah.
She was suffering, dude.
But they did a good job, and they make you go, "This is what you deserve. Good for you." And then we get the cap of everything. Tilda sings a really pitchy song. And we get the cap, which is Ben calls Tilda and Luke to Harlem's Paradise to talk about the will, which is what Mariah was writing. So I'm wondering, do you guys think she knew that Tilda poisoned her before she passed out and was dying?
When she called her mother?
Yeah.
She knew something was messed up.
She knew something was. I think she knew that she was up to something. I don't think she knew that Tilda poisoned her.
Yeah, and she knew that Tilda was probably.
Because remember before that, she told her to go to Harlem's Paradise and see if it doesn't change you.
Yeah.
Sit because it was empty.
Yeah.
So just see how you feel when you get in there, and see if you can ignore what you feel.
I think what she knew is that Tilda was going to work a way to kill her. So she's like, well, I ain't giving it to you. And then she's like, well, Luke still tried to protect me. So,
yeah. So the will was Tilda got the piano.
She got Cornell's piano. That's all she got.
That's all she got. And then we're thinking at that point, like Luke is going to get like the gun or something. Yeah. She gives Luke Harlem's Paradise. And at this point, everybody's like, you don't have to take it. And Luke tells Ben to just burn it. So that we're thinking it's done right then. And then the next scene happens. And it's Harlem Paradise and it's jumping. Everybody's having a good time. Rakim's on the stage singing his new track, King's Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you haven't listened to the soundtrack, you need to listen to the soundtrack. It's raw. And Luke's up in the perch. Misty's up in the perch with Luke. And then you find out that Misty doesn't know exactly what's popping off. And you learn that Luke is basically turned into Harlem's version of the Kingpin. And part of me was pissed as fuck when I saw this. I was mad as hell because I was like, really, man? This is the route you're going to take? But then I remembered in the Max comics, Luke was essentially a pimp. Like, he still did good, but, like, he was also that dude. Like, they got his money and everything.
See, when I saw it, I was like, all right. I can see this being a good story motive for season 3. I can follow it.
Yeah, I think something's going to happen to knock him out of it. Either Jessica or Luke, or Danny, rather, is going to come and smack him around.
Nah, Jessica's just going to start picking him up and slamming him into a wall.
Yeah.
Then she's going to be like, let's get married.
Or shoot him in the chin with a shotgun again.
I forgot about that. This season ended with such a bang. Quite literally. And now we see Luke in place as Harlem's king.
I know King's Paradise played, but I still would have... If they would have put Long Live the Chief again, yeah. I would have been on it. I would have been on it.
That would have been raw. King's Paradise was great. It was really good to see Rakim on stage again.
Yeah.
But Long Live the Chief would have worked. Even if they had it like at the end of it and they cut to the credits and it was Long Live the Chief playing over the credits, that would have made a lot of sense.
And of course they still had the minute Luke. Well, I guess not when Luke got it. When Mariah got it back, because I forgot. We talked about this earlier. Mariah got Harlem's Paradise back after they said they transferred everything to Bushmaster under duress. She took back off the painting.
Oh yeah, she
immediately put the Biggie one back.
She put the Biggie back up, and when Luke took over, he took down Biggie and put up Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
which that painting is raw.
Yeah, I like that.
I still wouldn't. I don't think I could have even taken off the Biggie one.
No, the Biggie one I would have kept.
Yeah.
I would have put up Muhammad too, but I would have had the Biggie one up there too.
And then I would have threw Jay-Z up on the other side of Biggie.
In Luke's mind, he's not a king, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's a kingfish at this point. In Luke's mind, he's what he calls himself. He calls himself a rook. But he was Harlem's rook in the middle of this season, to where he was willing to do the bad things to make good people safe. At this point, he's no longer willing to do bad things to make good people safe. He's just willing to do bad things. That's what it seems like to me.
I wouldn't go that far. Cause like when he took over, I didn't see him do anything bad.
Yet.
But we don't know.
Well, he was about to meet with the head of the Italian Mafia. At the end of the series, that's what he was doing.
With the girl, the lady?
Yeah, he was about to meet with her again. And the head of the Koreans, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were all sitting in the VIP section.
Yeah, they were all, he was going to go down
and Claire said,
Sugar said, Claire's here, and he said, tell Claire to go home. And I gotta say again, I hope this is not the way they write off Claire. I wanted Claire. I don't want Claire around as the love interest anymore. I was saying this to Anthony earlier. We know Jessica and Luke are supposed to be together. It's kind of like on Arrow. We know Arrow and like Green Arrow and Black Canary are supposed to be together, and they keep changing stuff.
And they could still put him with Dinah Drake.
Yeah.
Do Golden Age. I'm telling you.
But I really think now we know she's not going to be in Iron Fist season 2, but there's still a chance that Claire could be in Punisher, and like let her just leave. Like, but her leaving off screen pissed me off. Like I think Claire deserves better than that. She deserves a better write-up. Overall, like I'd say because of the plots, the twists and turns, like the one thing that bothered me the most was the write-off of Claire. I'd say if I were to give this out of a 10, I'd say it's a 9.7 out of 10.
Then I'd have to agree. 9.7, not somewhere between a 9.5 and 10.
This was a 10 out of 10 for me. This season was dope. This was the best Marvel series Netflix has put out so far.
Oh, for sure. For sure it was the best. I got to give it a little bit lower, like I said, because I want to see... I think Claire deserved a better ending.
Yeah.
I got a few production notes that I want to mention, though. You know, the chick that played Nandi was in the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, we
movie.
talked about her. She's Faith Evans.
Yeah, she was Faith. And I noticed some of the relationships here. Shale Hadari Coker, I think, was involved with that movie. And so I think he got her, and it was one or two other actresses or actors that are escaping me right now that were also involved with the show. And also, shout out to Lucy Liu for directing episode 1.
Oh, I forgot Lucy Liu directed episode 1.
And Sally Richardson Whitfield did episode 4, I Get Physical. Sally Richardson Whitfield was the voice of Elisa Maza on Gargoyles.
Oh snap! That's also Black Dynamite's girlfriend from
Yes,
Black Dynamite.
it is. And she was in Low Down Dirty Shade.
And she was on Eureka.
Yep.
Holy crap! I didn't know she directed episode 4. That's badass.
Yep.
Like, see, this folks, this is the reason we do these, and I've said it before on the podcast. Like, all of us here involved in the show, we all bring something different to the table. And Dee being the guy that's from more of a production standpoint than me and Anthony and like everybody else involved in our show, he's the guy that knows that stuff. I know the in front of the camera stuff. I know the Marvel references. If John's on the show, he knows the Marvel references. Anthony knows some of them. He knows in front of the camera. He knows the actors. He knows the visual stuff. Dee knows you want to know who the director was? Dee knows. You want to know who the writer was? Dee knows. But, I mean, this is what these shows are about, too. It's not just about the in front of the camera stuff. You got to remember the behind-the-scenes guys, too. Like, they did such a good job with this season. And now, like I said, I'm looking forward. I don't want to be let down by Iron Fist Season 2 because they has a lot to live up to. And I definitely feel like I wasn't let down by Jessica Jones Season 2, but I think it could have been better. And now seeing Luke Cage Season 2, Jessica Jones Season 2 should have been better.
Yeah, Jessica Jones Season 2 wasn't bad. It just wasn't...
Season 1 was much better.
I feel like I'm in the minority.
You think it was great?
Season 1 I did not like until the last 2 or 3 episodes.
That's because I can see where you're getting at that point, because Kilgrave was it's like, just catch him already. Shit, this is stupid.
The minute they started interrogating him, that's when I was invested. At that point, I was like, I'm going to watch.
Yeah, he was another...
Jessica Jones Season 2, the entire time, I was like, I want to know what this experimentation thing was. Keep going. And then, like, some other characters popped up, and I was like, oh, where's this going? And then I started Malcolm and started evolving as a character. And I'm like, now I'm fully invested in this.
I did like Malcolm better in Season 2. # Wizard deserved better.
Malcolm, which one was Malcolm?
No,
I remember.
I straight up thought he was paranoid that entire episode.
He was RPM Red.
Ika Darby, yeah.
And Wizard did deserve better.
Yeah, he was.
And the way they were saying his name was like they didn't almost pronounce it right. It was like they kept saying, I thought they were saying Wizard. And I'm looking up, who the hell is the Wizard? It's a wizard.
Wizard, as in moving really fast.
Yeah.
His costume is literally a ripoff of the Flash's costume in the comics.
No, when I saw
100% a ripoff of the Flash costume.
When I saw him, I was like, Marvel. I was like, oh no, I didn't know actually about him at all. I was like, oh no, he's just paranoid. Yeah. And then I saw stuff from him, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, we're not going to get into to Jessica Jones season 2 because if we do that, we're going to be here for another 2 hours. But I do think like Patty's arc on that was kind of boring and annoying. I didn't like the way they did it. And I don't like that Jessica's mother was one of the main villains. That kind of bothered me.
Yeah, she was a little annoying too.
Yeah.
You know your mother's a piece of shit. You need to kill her.
Yeah. But anyway, so Luke Cage season 2. I won't say it was better than season 1. What I will say about Luke Cage season 2 is it improved
I'll say that.
It improved upon season 1.
I like season 2. Well, let's see. I liked season 2 a lot. I like season 1's soundtrack more. Except for one of the reggae songs that was in season 2. I
remember season 1 was still really a pretty solid season, but with season 1, you had the last 2 episodes basically as maybe fluff or filler. Like they were trying to tie up everything.
Yeah.
Whereas in season 2, everything was hitting right on the money, and then when they had to wrap everything up, they wrapped it up in very dramatic fashion, but they wrapped it up.
Yeah.
And so that's as far as like the development and the writing and all of that, and the character development especially. I say this is 10 out of 10. This is the best season of any of the Netflix series that they've done so far.
Yeah, Luke 2 was leaps and bounds ahead of the others right now. That said, I think Daredevil 3 is going to trump everything.
I think Punisher is pretty high up there.
Punisher's definitely high up there.
Yeah, but like I don't really. Good. It was really really good, but I don't talk about that in the same light because he's not. He's like we saw him in. He still gets mentioned every now and again.
Yeah.
In the other series, and we saw him in Daredevil. However, he's not directly involved with the rest of those characters, and especially when his season begins, he's thought to be dead anyway.
Yeah, and he's a lot more grounded in reality than the rest of them are.
Also, I had to plug
aside from the ass whooping that he takes, and then all of a sudden he can fight again, like the next day after getting his ribs poked out. Yeah.
I just gotta plug in one minor tiny thing because y'all keep on pulling up attractive women on the shows, and I just gotta say, one girl from Punisher still probably the best for me.
With the cop that was a whore?
Yeah.
Oh, she got on my nerves so bad.
I liked her too much.
Yeah, she was fine.
She was fine, but she's got on my nerves so damn bad.
And she was annoying.
She was annoying.
Didn't she die?
No, she didn't.
She should.
This is several times she should have.
Yeah.
You mean when she flipped her car in the beginning?
She flipped her car and
hole in her chest. You know? Yeah. And Deborah Ann Wall. Let's not forget about Karen Page.
Yeah.
And her tall, leggy redhead ass.
Oh yeah. And Simone Misty.
Oh, Misty night any day of the week.
And Gabrielle Dennis. I'm not sure if you remember. Did you watch the game when it was on BET?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, she was on that. She was Janae. That's her. She was Derwin's baby mama.
Which one? Who was she on?
The game on BET?
Yeah. Well, is that Simone?
No. Gabrielle Dennis. She was Janae.
Well, who was she on Luke?
Gabrielle Dennis was Tilda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I actually saw Simone Missick's husband on something.
Yeah, he's an actor too.
He's an actor too.
She was on the Fox drama of Rosewood also.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Rosewood.
Black people watch Rosewood?
It was a black show.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
Yeah, it's got the dude from Lake Mike.
It's Morris Chestnut.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking something else. I'm tripping.
You're thinking of the other Rosewood.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a black movie too.
Yeah, it was.
With Ving Rhames.
It's just a much more.
Never mind. I'm
dark.
thinking of Citizen Kane with Rosebud.
Rosebud.
I had to study that for a film class.
I was going to say, and that's a
Anyway.
film classic. Anyway, folks, it's 2 hours and 22 minutes in. We should probably be signing off because I got to clean this up and put it up either later tonight or tomorrow. I'll send the audio to D2 so he can put it up on his channel, which is
the D Harris brand. Just type in the D Harris brand in the search bar. It'll pop right up to all of my videos, including my show On Screen with D Harris and all these podcasts, including the Weekend Wrestling podcast and all the videos for my auto team, Team Prodigy 216, where you can also find us on Facebook at Team Prodigy 216. Give us a like, damn it.
If you want to see more of Anthony, you can find him at
on YouTube also as the Mr. Mallard, or on YouTube as The Flock, which is our gaming channel. and the Mr. Mallard is just my personal channel where I started doing different vlogs, but I also put up animation stuff on there.
Do you like birds?
Me?
Yeah.
I like ducks.
There's a
Yeah,
story behind. There's a story behind his name. We'll tell you off recording. We
I was going to ask if you like ducks because he said mallard.
We can't get into that because Anthony almost had to have his big cousin come out and help him beat somebody's ass on Twitter. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, if you want to find me, I am at caged_bishop_cosplay on Instagram and at cagedbishopcosplay on Twitter. I barely use my Facebook anymore. I will probably, after Dee puts this up on his YouTube page, I'll put it back up on the Why Not Geek Talk YouTube. Also, the podcast is available at shoutengine.com/Why Not Geek Talk. We're gonna try to do these more often. I know I said that a couple months ago when we were banging about like once a month at the beginning of the year, and then life happened because we're all adults.
Plus, we were going to cons and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, from now on, guys, if you want to hear us, we'll be on there. Hopefully, we'll be back together next week with a few more people to record just a bullshit podcast because we have a lot to talk about, including all of the announcements from San Diego Comic-Con, plus upcoming announcements from Power Morphicon. Dee and I will probably cover most of those, as well as John, because Lord knows what stuff we can get covered from that, because hopefully Hasbro makes some announcements. And for all things geeky and podcast related, be sure to check us out at Why Not Geek Talk on YouTube and Shout Engine. As always, keep on geeking on. You guys have a good time. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoy all 2 hours and 25 minutes of this podcast. Peace.